Welcome to another Whiskey, Games, and Nerd Stuff. Today's whiskey, we're continuing to enjoy the Jefferson's Bourbon. Let's take a sip. Mm. Definitely enjoy this one. And today's Nerd Stuff, we're going to discuss Absolute Batman Issue 3. I'm still enjoying this Absolute Batman run. Would love to hear what people's thoughts and comments are on the run thus far. Issue 3 starts off with Bruce and Selina running along the rooftops and having a nice little conversation. It then goes into the continuation of where episode 2 or issue 2 ended off, and I kind of like this internal dialogue, and I love how they're playing Alfred on this. I think he's got some of the best lines, but I thought this was great. You know, he kind of goes there and talks, and I pride myself on being no one. The vague shape of a man sitting across from you on the train, and outlined a charcoal sketch. 40 years of creating a life in the shadows, all to find myself driving down Broadway on the hood of a giant bat-themed dump truck. And it suddenly occurs to me, I may actually hate Batman. And then they kind of have some dialogue to talk back and forth. And then Batman hits a button, and then he kind of goes, I might actually love Batman. So you're definitely seeing where Alfred is getting a greater appreciation for Bruce, for Batman, and it seems like in a lot of relationships, I think, is the things that drive us nuts sometimes are also the things that we like the most about the person. So I thought this was a really good scene. He's escaping out. He's got some guns that are shooting some, black or bat-shaped ammunition that goes out. I thought that was a really cool take. They go on to have some dialogue back and forth while they're escaping from both the law enforcement and from the bad guys. And then, of course, he's basically telling them how he can't do this alone. You need help. You need resources. And I can't help but feel like that's going to come into play later on in the issue. He then hits a button, and it shoots Alfred off into the air while he jumps into the water. And basically, the as a James Bond type of a thing, the giant-sized bat truck that had the car turns into somewhere you can just drive on the ocean floor. I thought that was pretty cool. We then flash back to some more dialogue between Selina and Bruce, where she's sneaking into a theater, kind of talking about her backstory. And then we kind of jump into him talking to the Riddler, who's building an AI robot, where it's an obvious, at least it's obvious to me, that this is going to be some kind of play on the Riddler, where it's going to be basically a android type version of the Riddler. I'm really enjoying how they're having all of Bruce's nemesises from the main universe kind of end up being his friends in this one. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, who stays friends and who he ends up on opposite sides with. We then go on to see the commissioner having a conversation where he's coming on to the boat of Roma and Cians, where he's basically fighting a former boxing champ. And there's some dialogue back and forth, and of course he's saying that he's not going to betray Commissioner or Mayor Gordon, but he's also saying how they need resources, and they kind of talk back and forth. What's interesting is I can't quite tell if he's killed him off at the end of here, or is just pretty much knocked him unconscious. And they kind of leave it open either way. And then we kind of find Bruce looking into what he found on the computer in the prior issue, and it's obvious there's something going on. Then it goes to the flashback again of Bruce with his friends in the movie. And then you find that Bruce was going to visit his mom, and they kind of talk about her helping out still in the campaign. He's talking about how it's dangerous. They kind of have a conversation going back and forth. Alfred goes by and visits his estranged daughter. And then it kind of goes back into some what's been going on with law enforcement and the mayor election. Then we kind of end where I really like this. So Bruce was able to contact the primary bad guy And basically, he's offering him $200 million just to kind of back off. And in this universe, Bruce is poor. So, of course, he's thinking all the things that he or Batman can do for the good. And then it kind of finishes off with him saying, enough, I'll take the deal. Now, I'm sure there's more to this. At least I would think there was more to this. I don't see Bruce accepting the $200 to kind of back off, or $200 million to back off. I feel like there's got to be more to it here. I thought this was a good setup issue. It wasn't as much action as the other ones, but I feel like there's some good things that they set up here with Bullock, with the Riddler and the android, some additional backstory of Selina. I think we're going to see something happen to Bruce's mom, and then I think you're seeing more of an appreciation of what Alfred is having for Bruce. I would have to imagine this is kind of more of a setup, which obviously he would expect the setup, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with this. I'm really excited to see where they're going with issue 4. I really do like what Snyder is doing with this in the writing. I'm really enjoying this next to Ultimate Spider-Man. This is one of been my favorite runs of reading. I haven't gotten too much in Absolute Batman, or excuse me, Absolute Superman or Absolute Wonder Woman, but I am going to be reading those and kind of talking about this potentially. Again, really do appreciate everybody taking the time to watch this kind of quick overview of Absolute Batman issue 3. Would love to hear your thoughts and suggestions in the comment section. Until next time, folks, cheers.